Days of Prayer for Peace. My dear brothers and sisters in Japan, at the request of His Grace Archbishop Isao Kikuchi, Archbishop of Tokyo, I am delighted to send you this message of peace as you embark on the 10 days of prayer for peace from 6th to 15th of August. I wish to congratulate the Church in Japan for faithfully responding every single year since 1981 to Pope St. John Paul II's appeal for peace in Hiroshima. You have marked 10 days of prayer for peace annually since then, and I applaud you for doing so. Your prayers are needed now more than ever. In his appeal for peace on the 25th of February 1981, Pope St. John Paul II said that war is the work of man. War is destruction of human life. War is death. Seldom there has been a time when those words are more true. Seldom has there been a time when our prayers for peace in the world are more needed. Of course, our human history is full of wars, conflicts, and persecution. Of course, the last century alone bore witness to two great world wars which wreaked death and destruction on a scale unparalleled, a history with which Japan is all too familiar painfully. In addition, in the last century, the Vietnam War, the Korea War, the killing of millions in China during the Civil War amounts a great leap forward and cultural revolution. The slaughter by Pol Pot in Cambodia, wars in the Middle East, the genocides in Rwanda and Bosnia, and the brutal invasion, occupation, and the carnage in East Timor, all left death, grief, and suffering in their wake. Pope Francis' forthcoming visit to East Timor will be especially very meaningful in this context as we recall the tiny nation's immense suffering and yet its remarkable resurrection, defying the odds and establishing itself as an independent, free, democratic nation over the past 22 years. For the first 3 decades of this country, and especially the past few years, have brought yet more warfare and yet more tragedy in our lives. From wars in Iraq and Afghanistan to Sudan, Yemen, and of course today, Putin's outrageous, criminal and bloody war in Ukraine, and the tragedy in Israel and Gaza, peace yet again seems elusive, and war appears to be a fact of daily life. In my own country of Myanmar, we have endured 75 years of civil war, with only a few short periods of apparent ceasefire. Since the military coup on the 1st of February 2021, my beloved Myanmar has been plunged into yet another dark era of conflict, even worse than the many decades of war and repression that went before. Civilians are being slaughtered, churches, schools, hospitals, and homes are bombed. Hundreds of thousands of people are displaced. Children are orphaned. Parents mourn their dead children. Women are widowed, and men grieve for their wives who have been raped, tortured, and killed. In Myanmar today, we are truly in the darkest moment of the darkest night. The clock has long ticked past midnight. This is barely a flicker of light to be seen. And yet, my brothers and sisters, and yet hope endures because we are people of faith who know that the darkest moment always comes just before dawn, and we believe that the dawn will come for Myanmar and the rest of the world. The dawn of peace, the dawn of a resurrection. But we must pray for it daily, and pray not simply for a fragile peace that is just an absence of war, that is not a meaningful peace. No, pray for a peace that truly binds the wounded hearts of humanity, that genuinely heals the festering souls, that really brings brothers and sisters to embrace each other in the core of their being, recognizing the imago Dei within each other, that is underpinned by the establishment of a deep and profound pursuit of justice, respect for human dignity, human life, and human rights. Justice does not mean retribution. It means recognition and repentance. Recognition of wrongs done. Recognition of the humanity of the other. And a turning away from wrong towards the beauty of truth. In our Catholic social teaching, justice and peace walk hand in hand, and truth and reconciliation go arm in arm. They are inseparable. Only when true freedom and real justice are secured can genuine peace be achieved. Only then can the lion lie down with the lamb. So as you embark on these days of prayer, my dear brothers and sisters in Japan, please remember these principles and pray for them. Pray for Ukraine, for an end to Putin's unjust war, and for justice for all who have suffered. Pray for an end to Hamas attacks on Israel, for justice for the people of Gaza, and for a miraculous divine-led peace based on freedom, security, and human dignity for all the peoples of the Holy Land, Israelis, Palestinians, Jews, Muslims, and Christians. Pray for the Korean Peninsula, and especially for the people suffering under Kim Jong-un's regime in North Korea. Pray for China, for the Uyghurs, Tibet, Christians, and Falun Gong practitioners across China, and for the people of Hong Kong. Pray for Taiwan, that peace would prevail, that Taiwan's vibrant democracy would be secured, and that a catastrophe would be averted. And also pray for my own country, Myanmar, which so urgently needs your prayers at this time. And pray for peace in every other corner of the world. In his 1981 appeal in Hiroshima, Pope St. John Paul II said this, "And to the Creator of nature and man, of truth and beauty I pray, hear my voice, for it is the voice of the victims of all wars and violence among individuals and nations. Hear my voice, for it is the voice of all children who suffer and will suffer when the people put their faith in weapons and war. Hear my voice when I beg you to instill into the hearts of all the human beings the wisdom of peace, the strength of justice, and the joy of fellowship. Hear my voice For I speak for the multitudes in every country and in every period of history who do not want to war and are ready to walk the road of peace. Hear my voice, grant insight and strength so that we may always respond to hatred with love, to injustice with total dedication to justice, to need with the suffering of self, to war with peace. O God, hear my voice and grant us the world your everlasting peace. My brothers and sisters, I do ask our Creator to hear our voice and to hear yours too as you pray. Thank you very much. Arigato gozaimashita.